أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى وما يدريك لعله يزكى أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى. We're starting Surah Abasa. This is the 14th lesson. This surah is known as Abasa, Amma, Sakha, or Safara. It is 24 after Surah Najm. So it's from early revelation. They claim what is the main subject of this surah. It is, as we have said at the beginning, these few surahs are all talking about Qiyamah. So again, it will be Ithbat Qiyamah, affirmation of Qiyamah. However, in here is Tahdid al tabligh. So this push, this acceleration on tabligh and calling, encouraging toward the Quran is happening in the surah. And at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned two different types of groups. If we do the khulasa, like a sketch of the surah, but if you look at the ayats like we did last time, we'll break it down and then inshallah we'll do the rest. So the first two ayats, Abasa wa tawalla an ja'ahu al-a'ma. In here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the hallmark of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, with this amazing quality of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that his thirst for tabligh, how much he was eager to call people toward Islam, and he could not tolerate even a small tiny hesitation in his path. So this is basically happening in the first two ayats, and thereafter 3 to 10 Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows some etiquettes to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam as well as to us, some adab, some etiquettes, how to do da'wah. And this is happening, like who meant to be prioritized. One is called munib and the other one is called mu'anid. Those people who are eager, they will be prioritized, no matter who they are, no matter what kind of color they have, what kind of standing they have in the society. That will not be the case. So whoever wants it, they will be given. And whoever does not want it, even if they are Ronaldo or Messi, whoever they are, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be prioritized. It's going to be those who wants it. So this is the condition of giving da'wah to people. So this will be talked in there inshallah. Ayah number from 11 to 16. In here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again same thing is happening basically. This Quran is am. It's not going to be khas, it's not going to be given to certain people. And Rasul or Da'i of Islam is not going to be pampering people around. If they want it, good. If they don't want it, tough luck. So they can do whatever they want to do with themselves. 17 to 23, in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives more zajr, extra reprimand, and 10 ahwal of qiyamah has been mentioned. From 24 to 31, in here Allah gives 10 different proofs, dalail, on qiyamah. And the way He does it is the provision has been used, the rizq that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided, the way He has, so that has been used as evidence, the provision basically. So basically the one who has provided you all these things, then He will be asking you with regards to this as well. So a day is coming ahead, for that you need to prepare. So this has been explained between 32 to 37, the day has been explained with 5 different conditions. And lastly, from ayah 38 to the end is which ayah? Where does it end? Rehan. Yes, so these few ayahs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about these two different groups of people. Those who will have faces which will have radiance, and those people who will have dust and smoke on it. So the different types of groups have been talked about. Linking with the previous surah, now you will be understanding more because we have done the other surahs, So linking with, which surah are we linking with, Munir? We'll only link with one nazi'at, because it makes it too long. So just with one nazi'at. In there Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, innama anta munzir, that you are only a warner. So this was the job description of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yes. And in here Allah explains it further. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى, no blame on you if they do not purify. So same message is happening in both surahs, the job description is even further clarified. You give the da'wah, now your job is done. Whether they purified or not, it's not on you. It's left with them and between them and Allah. Another, in this surah and one nazaat, have one same ayah, similar ayah. Can anyone think about it? One before it. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. This ayah has come, both these surahs have same thing. And the next link is the same thing. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الطَّامَّةُ الْكُبْرَى and فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَةُ. Those people who memorize this surah, they will get confused in this sometime as well, yeah? Because same ayat, similar thing, same, talking about the same object, which is the qiyamah, but different names have been given. And in this surah, or the Amma وَالنَّازِعَاتِ, which worst person has been talked about in the history? In وَالنَّازِعَاتِ, the worst, Fir'aun, yes. The Fir'aun of Musa was talked about, yes. And in this surah, the worst of, like, the scumbag of the society in time of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Fir'auns of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have been mentioned in Abasa wa Tawalla and Ja'ahu al-A'mal, Abu Jahl and Shayba and all those, Utba and so on. Those criminals have been given a reprimand. So both surah beautifully are coherent in this fashion. And they are both together in a pair. Now, before we go any further to the surah, we need to understand a few things, because Abasa wa Tawalla and Ja'ahu al-A'mal, these two ayahs are, it will bring shivers on anyone's body who understand what they're talking about, and it's very tough. So we need to do like a bit summary of it before we go into it, so it will be helpful for us to understand what we're talking about. Number one, there are opinions, like first of all, the one, like if you were to read, he frowned and turned away, yeah, this will come in the Quran. They relate this to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We'll do that later on. But there are opinions which can be found in Qurtubi and Tabari, that these first two ayats is not talking to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The address is not to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rather, it is either is just normal example given, or is talking about maybe some evil people who had bad behavior with the weak in the society. So this is one opinion that can be found in these tafsir. But leaving that to aside, the one which is well known and everyone, maybe no one will mention the one I just mentioned right now, yeah, the previous one. So the one which you will hear all the time is this, that it is talking to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have been, like, because he was going above and beyond his duties, so he's been cautioned that, like, don't go over the thing, yeah, like فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Are you going to kill yourself over them not believing, over them not accepting Islam? Meaning, this is not your job. You do what you need to do and do not go over your limit, basically. So this is basically happening. So there are two ways the ulama talk about this. One is that it is full of respect and honor for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they don't even translate Abasa wa Tawalla to its actual meaning, and they say Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam became upset. That's what he say, Abasa. Rasul sallallahu became upset. That's what they say. That's one. It's good in its own sense. However, there are other groups of ulama who translate its actual meaning, which you will find in the Mus'haf in front of you, the translation. Yeah, what does it say, Anas? Frowned, yeah. So this is like itab, this is like a reprimand, this is like more cautioning someone with that they need to sort out their way of behavior, basically. So now we need to understand how we're going to deal with it. First of all, this Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is our master. And He is the master of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. He will speak the way He wants to speak. No one's going to put any barriers on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not who we are. Yeah, like we will not degrade the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will not bring down His value and upgrade the value of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like how the Christians have done with Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam have been raised so much, yeah, that he has become the God. So we're not going to do that either. And we're not going to be disrespectful like how the Jews were, that they did what they meant to do. They were planning what they did with the Isa alayhi salam, yeah, what they did in their own ways. So we're not going to disrespect the Prophet, If we do that, this is a serious crime. One can leave the fold of Islam even if they are saying the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but internally they want disrespect for Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, la tarfa'u aswatukum fawqa sawti nabi. That do not even raise your voice over the voice of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In different place, la taj'alu du'a ar-rasul baynikum ka du'a ba'dukum ba'da. Yeah, you're calling to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The way you meant to deal with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is high and above. It has to be full of respect and full of honors. So this we need to have in mind. So we are ummataw wasatal, or like we are a ummah which are in the middle. We will not give respect that is not deserving for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we're not going to disrespect which is under his risala. Does that make sense? So we are in the middle. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said something, we will say it. If Allah subhanahu, but we will say it with respect, we will say it with honor, yeah, and we will explain it like I did at the beginning, yeah, what we meant by this, and we will explain it further. Even you be translating as frowned and turned away, but when we look at the background, this will be only an honor upon honor for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as for all his followers, and it will be only a reprimand to those criminals who stands against the da'wah, basically. So this is what we need to understand. This is what I wanted to mention at the beginning. So you will say that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. We will not put the values down in any way whatsoever. So now let's understand the background. So this is early time of prophethood. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has started this mission, and the ulama say that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had gathered these people and he was after them for a very long time, and now he had this golden opportunity to give da'wah to the likes of Abu Jahl, Utbah, Shayba, and the big guns, yeah, of the societies. Like if they were to accept Islam, yeah, they were the worst, they were the most vocal against Islam. However, if they were to accept Islam, it will be a lot easier. Like how in the previous surah, Musa alayhi salam was told to go to who? To who? Fir'aun, yeah? He was the head. If he was to accept Islam, people will follow suit. They will just accept. They won't have any problems. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look at throughout his seerah. He went to Taif to speak to who? To normal people or to the leaders? It was to the leaders, yeah. He sent letters to the leaders, yeah, the big guys, the Qaisar and so on. He sent letters to them, not to normal people. If they were to accept Islam, that's it. People normally follow these big guys, yeah. Like if these big sportsmen guy or these musicians or these whatever, if they were to accept Islam, like Muhammad Ali, he accepted Islam. What kind of effect he had? Just normal people accept Islam is good for them, but we're talking about how it will affect the society. So the big influencers accept Islam, like Andrew Tate, yeah? He accepted Islam, it has an effect. Muhammad Ali, he accepted Islam, he had huge effect. It gave different honor to the people, yeah, because of who accept Islam. So this makes it a lot easier. If those people who to accept Islam, that's it. Yeah, it made path easy for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, those people, they were the worst of the criminals, yeah. They had a lot of ego. They had this, they were the men, yeah. They were the people. They should be given whatever, yeah. And they were those people who would lose the most out as well, because they were on a high post. They will come down to be normal people if they were to accept Islam, yeah. So they had their own reasons to stand against Islam. Now, this person who comes in, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, he is blind, so he is disabled, and these people are like the Ronaldos and Messis, yeah. These are two names that I know better, yeah. So that's why I always use this. So these guys are sitting, and now this normal guy is walking, and he comes in and he interrupts, and he calls Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam for whatever needs he came for. So what kind of effect this will have on those people who are already at anger, they are already on their edge to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it will fire up. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not appreciate Abdullah ibn Maktoum coming and interrupting. His no appreciation is totally in boundaries. You would not expect someone barging in when you are in an important meeting. Like you have these meetings, yeah, you knock on the door, then you come in, can I speak, whatever, then you go out. Like you have special guests that have come in, no one, the child is not allowed, no one else is allowed to just come and barge in and shout whatever they want to say, yeah. they need to wait. Yeah. However, he is blind, he does not see what is happening, and he hasn't recognized. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleared his fault as well. However, now the situation is that these people who are sitting in front of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are the worst of the society. Yeah. So some of the ulama say that Rasul feared that these people will say something extremely foul to Abdullah ibn Maktoum. So for him, so he showed attitude to, or the way he responded to Abdullah ibn Maktoum, so they don't respond. If they were to respond or they were to say something bad, it would hurt Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam more, and it will be a bigger problem for Abdullah ibn Maktoum. So does that make sense? Have you understood so far? So this is basically happening. Or by here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling him that who needs to be prioritized. Where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is giving da'wah, this is the most urgent need. He needs to give it to these filth, this scumbag of the society. They are in the worst of darknesses. If Abdullah ibn Maktoum, according to some, he is a Sahabi, he is already Muslim, so he is safeguarded. Even if he needs some sort of information about Islam, he at least he is in safety. While these people, they are in the worst situation, so they are more needy. For example, yeah, with the doctor, you go to a doctor, like Aqib will go to a doctor and Rehan will go to a doctor. Yeah, Aqib has a problem that is just flu, while Rehan is good digestive problem. Yeah, so his is more severe than his flu. Yeah, does that make sense? Aqib is only flu and Rehan is digestive. So which one is more severe? Digestive one, yeah, because the guy will be having problem. Yeah, so who doctor meant to prioritize? The digestive one, the one who has problem, the one who is more in need. Yeah. However, Rehan says that I'm not interested in medicine and I don't want it. And Aqib, he is like, oh, my nose is coming out and there's water and this and this, and he tell him the entire history of his family, that he's been like this and so many people have died and recently there was COVID and so on. The doctor will be like, this guy is need to be prioritized, even though his need is less, but he wants it more. Does that make sense? The need of Abdullah ibn Maktoum is less, however he wants it, so he needs to be given. These Abu Jahl and these criminals that were sitting, they are full in darknesses, but they do not want it, even though their need is more. Does that make sense? They will not be given because they don't want it. They don't want the medicine. So now going to the ayah, surah itself. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, that He created different types of people in the earth. Ar-Rahman, the entirely merciful, that He sends down buckets of rain on the earth. Ar-Rahim, the especially merciful, the one who can see and blind have been specified, meaning no matter if you're blind and you want Quran, you want the Hidayah, you will be given to you, and no matter if you can see but your heart is blind, you will not be given. Abasa wa tawalla, he frowned and turned away. See in here, the fa'il, the doer is not being mentioned, yeah? So who is talking about here? But they say it's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we talked about that, yeah? And those people who say fa'il is not known, so it doesn't have to be Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's just talking about the society, basically. Wallahu alam, but we talked about and discussed both anyway. So whatever the situation is, both way it is perfectly fine. And in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in third person, yeah? It is not direct, no abasta wa tawallayta, you, yeah? And in here, if you was to be spoken to someone directly, it gives more horror, yeah? It becomes more intensifies, yeah? It becomes tough to take it in. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you say he has been spoken to in a third person to lower the effect of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and this happens in our normal language as well, yeah? What's wrong with those people? Even though you're talking about a certain person, but what's wrong with those people? What's wrong with that society? Even though you're talking about a specific person, yeah? And same thing has happened in a different surah. It's called Ankabut, and it's talking, and the ulama give the background information as that the Sahaba, the trouble and the afflictions on the Sahaba increased so much, like meaning the people were persecuting them so much. So they came to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam when the help of Allah is coming and so on, to need his meaning. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Am hasiban nasu ay yutraku ay yaqulu amanna wa hum la yaftanun." Do people think to need it? Do people? Yeah. Do they think? Do people think that they're going to accept Islam and there is not going to be any calamities, there are not going to be any afflictions? Meaning they will certainly be there. They go both hand in hand. So same thing has happened in here, like what has happened to the people, ye logo ko kya hua hai, the khalq bani situation. So it's talking about a third in that fashion, so it's not talking directly to lower down the effect here to the heat. Okay. Another interesting, or some ulama takes out from this, is that if someone out of not knowing, they disrespect, they show disrespect, then you should not become upset or break ties of kinship with them. Ayah number 2, أَنْجَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى, because there came to him the blind man. So by calling him blind, it is a rahmah, it is a mercy to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he's talking to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is a mercy to this Sahabi, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, if it is talking about him. One, because he cannot see, so he cannot see the reaction of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been freed in that fashion. And the other is that he came because it is his fault, the Sahabi, this person who came and interrupted, it is his fault that he disturbed people talking. Like we, even in our own language, and our own understanding. If two people are talking, you don't mean to interrupt, you just wait till they finish, whatever they're talking about, then you speak what you need to speak, but you don't. It is out of disrespect and it is not manners that you just unlike nowadays many people do that. Number 3, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَى, but what would make you perceive that perhaps he might be purified? So they say, or some, there are opinions, whether he was a Sahabi, whether he was a Muslim at the time, or whether he was not. If he was not, then he came and he showed eagerness and he wanted to accept Islam. So maybe he had to be prioritized in that fashion. But if he was a Muslim, then he is like a family member, he is like a student, he is like so you guys come and you need to ask something, you're not going to be prioritized over someone who has come maybe far away, we don't see regularly and so on. So they will be prioritized, they will be given the priority. So same thing is happening. So whichever way, whether he is a Sahabi or whether he is not, both way is perfectly fine. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ فَتَنْفَعَهُ الذِّكْرَى, or be reminded and the remembrance would benefit him. So there are two types of students we need to understand. One is that he goes to understand a ruling for his own purpose. So you will go, for example, Rehan will come and he has a valid question, he needs to understand his religion basically. And for example, Aqib will say, I want to go along with you, maybe I will hear something beneficial and I will take benefit from it as well. So there are two types of students. So one, you go there for your own benefit, you have a specific agenda, and the other person joins you so he can benefit. So both has been. So these should be the only purpose. These are the two qualities found in a student of knowledge. If there is any other purpose, just to go to see which kind of quality the guy has, or maybe just to see, or maybe tease him off, or maybe just to spend some time and so on, like that, and other purposes, this is not right. So these two have been talked about. Either is لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى, meaning you go yourself to purify yourself, or you go along with someone else so you can take benefit from the conversation or from the question when it's asked. Ayah number 5, أَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى, as for he who thinks himself without need. So now this are the people, you going to prioritize the people who see themselves above? They do not think that the wa'az, this nasiha or this reminder that you're giving, they do not think that it's important or it's going to bring any value, any importance in their life. So they shouldn't be prioritized basically. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because in here, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam doesn't know what is happening internally. Allah is exposing these criminals. That these are the types of people. So don't pester them, or don't go behind them so much. Or don't think that what you are giving has any fault in it. You are not giving something which is faulty. Like a salesman, in the streets, they will be pushing things more, will be saying so many things about something if it has defects in it. If something which is valuable, like brand, I don't know, Tommy jeans, Nike over there, yeah. They don't have to advertise in that fashion. It is like this and it's this and this because it's already there. People know about it. They can just take it. It's perfectly fine. But if it's something faulty, like you go to these countries, yeah, where they're selling stuff on the street, they will say qasam and they will, oh, so it's this amazing and this and this and this, yeah, make long stories about it, or we and so on, yeah. They will propagate and they will add stuff from themselves in order to sell, because there's a problem in the merchandise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in here that there is nothing wrong with the thing you are giving. It is wrong. They have their own problems, so let them be, basically. فَأَنْتَ لَهُ تَصَدَّى. To him you give attention, meaning they shouldn't be your they shouldn't be your priority. Or don't stress yourself so much, like I mentioned earlier. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Then perhaps you would kill yourself through grief over them if they do not believe in this message out of sorrow. No, this is not going to be the situation of a da'i. You will give, and if they take, good. If they don't take, it's their problem. Because at the end of the day, the Quran does not get any higher glory because someone accepts, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to get any high glory because billions people accept or reject. It doesn't matter if anyone accept or does not. On you is to give. If they take, good. If they don't take, it's their own problem. Ayah number 7. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى. And not upon you if he will not be purified. So this is your job description. You give da'wah, full stop. So this thing is happening again and again. Ayah number 8. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. But as for he who comes to you striving. Now this person who wants it, who is thirsty, yeah, then he will need to be prioritized. And same thing has been used, the same word in Quran. What's the word? يَسْعَى. فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ. It's talking about in the day of Jum'ah, you will leave everything, then you will rush, you will proceed, you will run, yeah, dodo, towards the remembrance of Allah, and you will leave your trade. So same thing. So this person who is rushing to understand, this person who is really eager, he is there 100%, so he wants it. So this is by action. So he shows by action that he wants it. And what is happening internally? Next ayah. وَهُوَ يَخْشَى. Ayah number 9. While he fears. So he showed it by action and he is internally ready. So this is the situation of a land which is fertilized. So if the rain was to happen on it, and there is seed in it, of course, then it will grow. However, if it's a rock, meaning he does not want it, and he is not moving for it either, there is no rain happening on it, then this land will not benefit, the seed will not grow, tawheed will not grow in these kind of people. So those people, they need to have these qualities. One, eagerness. The other one, they are internally pure. So both action and as well as internally pure, that they need to be available. Ayah number 10. فَأَنْتَ عَنْهُ تَلَهَّى. From him you are distracted. So basically, if it's related to the beginning and we're talking to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Rasul Sallam turned away from Abdullah ibn Maktoum and continued talking to these people, these criminals. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you distracted from him, meaning they shouldn't be your priority. These people shouldn't have been your priority, and this person should have been your priority. Or other way, in here, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hasn't been checked for him being irresponsible, but rather he is putting more burden on himself, that he is so worried about these people. He is been chasing them for so long, and he is giving them da'wah, but it's like they are like rocks, nothing is happening on them. Like, it's okay, if they don't accept, it's not on you. So this is basically happening. كَلَّا إِنَّهَا تَذْكِرَةٌ. From here onward, there is targhib in the Quran, and the Quran needs to be given to all. It cannot be for certain types of people. It's not going to be for only Pakistanis or Afghanis or for browns or pinks or whites. It's going to be for those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, He already informed us. One is وَأَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى. Those people who show they are the guns of the society, they have pride, they are not the one, they are not to be given, no matter who they are. Like you said, they were the role models, yeah? They were the wealthiest, they had the best of reputation, they had the best of the colors, whatever. No, they're not to be prioritized. Who needs to be is munib. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. The one who is eager, the one who comes in rushing, they need to be given. Does that make sense? No matter who they are, whether they're disabled or whether they are from the weaks of the society, whether they are poor, whoever they are, that doesn't matter. Does that make sense? So now in here, and this further, كَلَّا إِنَّهَا تَذْكِرَةٌ. No, indeed, they are a reminder. Why does he call it a reminder? Quran is called a reminder, yeah? But why? We need to understand a few things. One, we said this is from the fitrah, yeah? That we believe in a God, we believe in a being. So this is in the fitrah. So by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calling a reminder, meaning it will bring back the information which you already know. So like you see when you have barbecue, yeah, and you see this charcoal which you've been burning for a while, and then this white stuff come on it, what they call it, on this fluffy stuff on it. Yeah, does it mean the light has gone, or is the heat still there? It's there, yeah. It's just need on it, so the white stuff can go away from it. So same thing, like you have a friend in. So I'll take the example of Zakaria, yeah? Zakaria Zulkifl. Zulkifl has a brother called Zakaria, and he's in Pakistan, and he's been sitting here for quite a while, but now we mention his name. Did you remember him? Do you remember your brother now? Yeah? He remembered. But maybe 10 minutes ago he didn't. Why did he remember? Because he knows him, yeah? He's his brother. So that's why it was only a reminder. You know, if I was talking about Abdul Hadi, his brother, did you remember Abdul Hadi? No, because he's not his brother, he doesn't know him. Same thing, Quran is called a reminder because everything that has been mentioned in here, meaning calling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know Allah, you know there is a master. So it is only a reminder in that fashion that this light which is flicking, yeah, it's been given extra fuel, that yes, this is what it is. Or this fire or this charcoal which has this white stuff coming on it, with this Quran that has come to clear it up for you. Does that make sense? So that you can come back to your reality. So this is what the Quran does. The Quran is not going to be telling you something which you are not familiar with, which it is out of your understanding. Does that make sense? So this is what is required from you with the Quran as well. So the thing which you can absorb from Quran, which is in your capacity. For example, your capacity is completely different than those people who spent years upon years in Medina University, yeah, to understand Quran, to understand Sunnah. So your expectation from you is far low than what is expecting from them, because they have understood better and you have understood less. So you will be asked with regards to what you have understood the Quran, and they will be asked with regards to what they have understood the Quran. Does that make sense? So says, قُلْ كُلُّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. We are all working to a whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. Allah is not going to put us on a burden which is out of our scope, basically. So whatever information, but of course you need to strive to understand your Quran, to understand your religion. However, whatever tools were available to you, that's how much you're going to understand. You're not going to be able to understand things which are not in your capacity, and you will not be asked about it as well. But inshallah, that information will come later on. But I hope you understood. Why is it called tadhkira? Why is it called a reminder? It is only a reminder because you already know about it. It is not something strange. It is not something out of different world. Yeah. And now kalla, two ways of understanding. One, kalla, we said, if it says no, mean no. This is one. And the other one is kalla, meaning haqqa, verily. So two ways of understanding. Kalla, if you say kalla, meaning it's a scolding to this kuffar, that you get lost. You are not in need. The Quran does not need you. You get lost, do whatever you're going to do. You think yourself self-sufficient, just do whatever you're going to do with yourself. Yeah, this is that way. Or surely this is a book which is a reminder for the believers. Okay, ayah number 12, we will push because we have about 20 minutes, inshallah. Ayah number 12, what have we? فَمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَرَ. So whoever wills may remember it. So it is on you. The problem is not with the Quran, it is with you. If you want to choose it, if you want to take it, good. If you don't want to take it, just it's your problem. Or like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. And say, the truth is from your Lord, so whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. You kawa baby guru, yeah, is that kind of situation. You do whatever you're going to do, and your day is coming for you. في صحف مكرمة, in honored sheets. So it's talking about, it is calling about Sahifi Izzat Mandi, yeah, which is Lawhi Mahfuz, or like this page. This page has a different owner than the pages that are found anywhere else. It's not, the Quran is not written on. We value this page more high. If it's on the floor, we pick it up. If it's somewhere else, we pick it up. We honor the pages of the Quran.